We welcome you to Ford White Sox warm-up. It is game 1 of 3 from where the season started, Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. The Sox and the Royals on a beautiful night here in Missouri. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. Steve will be here in a moment. And the Sox have lost 5 in a row. However, they get a weapon back. This afternoon, Jose Abreu off the disabled list. He underwent outpatient surgery due to a testicular issue. He's back now, and when he went on the DL, he had a 7-game hit streak. He was batting .393 over that span, and so we asked him, how quickly does he think he'll be able to get back there?
I don't know. I don't want to think about that just now. I think everybody knows that I was feeling really good with my offense before the injury happened, and just now I want to think about the things that I can do in a daily basis. I know that there are like 20 to 18 games left, and I just want to take advantage of every single game. I don't want to think in timing. We'll see what happens during the games, and then we're going to make adjustments. Just now.
And we will see in the first inning, Jose in his customary number 3 spot, playing first base. A lot to tell you about this evening. Steve will join me after the break. Lucas Giolito is on the mound. We'll get Stoney's thoughts on the Sox starter who's been improved recently. Kauffman Stadium, the site of Ford White Sox warm-up.
Warm-up show is brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. And by Danley's. When you think of garages, think Danley's. Inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. And by Danley's. When you think of garages, think Danley's.
A little tour of Kauffman Stadium for you as the Sox and Royals get ready to tangle in game number 1 of 3, and it's a familiar foe in Kansas City. We see divisional opponents a lot. Steve Stone joins me now, and Lucas Giolito has seen Kansas City 3 times. This is his 4th start of the year against the Royals.
He's undefeated lifetime against him. He's 3-0 this year, 2-0 against him, and thrown the ball exceptionally well. His ERA down in the low 2s. Last time out against Detroit, he really struggled, but 2 times out ago against Boston, he threw it as well as he's been throwing it all year. So he's got a very familiar opponent. He's seen a lot of them. They've seen a lot of him. So he's going to have to make an adjustment tonight. This the 4th time, and on the 4th time, you might want to vary your pattern somewhat because they know exactly what he's going to do. He knows what they're going to do, but the advantage always goes to the pitcher.
We'll show you throughout the telecast what he's thrown against Kansas City in the past and see how much he does vary it this evening. Ford White Sox warm-up wraps after this. A beautiful day in Kansas City.
inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. And by Danley's. When you think of garages, think Danley's.
What a welcome change in climate after windy and chilly at Guaranteed Rate Field over the weekend as the Sox come back to Kansas City, where they won the first 5 games of the season against the Royals. Sox are 10-6 against Kansas City this season, winning the season series guaranteed no matter what happens in these 3. But why not take a couple from the Royals? Game number 1 is on the way. First pitch just around the corner.
WGN Sports.
Holy cow! Yes!
Kauffman Stadium, the Sox final trip to Kansas City this season as they file in to watch game number 1 of 3 between Ricky Renteria's White Sox and Ned Yost's Kansas City Royals. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. This season, the Sox have tormented Kansas City dating back to opening day. Sox went down early, made a serious comeback to win, and it's stayed that course throughout the year.
4 years ago, the Sox had big problems with this Kansas City team, but each and every year of the last 4, things started out badly, but things are getting a whole lot better. We see in 15 it was awful, it got worse in 16. But 17 and 18, things are getting better for our Sox, largely because they're scoring more runs, they're hitting more home runs. But the biggest factor is this Kansas City team isn't near as good. The bullpen used to be locked down. That isn't the case anymore. And Ned Yost is finding out what everybody knew all along. If you don't have a great bullpen, it's tough to win.
Just a couple remnants of those teams from the World Series in 2014 and 2015. Sox and Royals game number 1. We've walked you up to first pitch. It is on the way. Coming up shortly with some Sox fans traveling here.
White Sox baseball is brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Test drive a Hyundai today. Xfinity has the largest gig speed network, serving more homes than anyone else. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. Wintrust, home of Sox checking and debit cards. Open an account today at wintrust.com/Sox. And by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional offers on select Audi models.
By Xfinity, delivering the fastest internet and the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call or visit an Xfinity store today. Sox are 56-87. Kansas City 47-95 as they get together for game number 1 of 3 from Kauffman Stadium. And the return of Jose Abreu is this evening. He's in the 3 spot in the lineup, and here is exactly what that lineup looks like as Yohan Moncada hits the batter's box. He'll be followed by Sanchez, then Abreu, Palka, Narvaez, Delmonico, Castillo, Anderson, and Engel, your starting 9.
Let's take a look at the defense and how Ned Yost is going to put them out there. Gordon, Goodwin, and Bonifacio left to right with Escobar, Mondesi, Merrifield, and O'Hearn. Salvi Perez has the plate, and we'll talk about Jacob Junis in a moment.
He throws ball number 1, and off we go. Wheels up at 7:15 tonight from Kauffman Stadium. It is just a perfect night for baseball here in early September. And Moncada fouls the ball off his leg, 1-1.
Let's take a look at Jacob Junis, on for his 27th start. He's 8-12 ERA, 4.32. Just 1 complete game. There you see the rest of the numbers.
On the ground, the shortstop Mondesi. 1 away, Sanchez coming up. Jacob Junis will throw the slider most heavily, 33%. Batting average against that thing is 163. Teams have hit his fastball very well, and it accounts for more than half of his pitches, the 4-seamer plus the sinker.
Pretty much you would call him a sinker slider pitcher. And the 4-seamer, normally, if he doesn't have real good control of it, then he's got a problem because he's not overwhelming with it.
To left field, Yolmer Sanchez. 26 of the last 27 games now, Sanchez has been on base safely.
There looked to be the 4-seam fastball. It was belt high. It was outer third. Not a great deal of movement, and Yolmer just takes it into left center field.
And so we welcome back Jose Abreu into the Sox lineup. Some time away due to that surgery that he had, his first game since August the 20th. He was on a 7-game hit streak. His average up 8 points over that time, slugging the ball well as he takes a strike in his first at bat back. Type of guy you can lose for a week or so and bandage over it, but the long haul shows the warts of what you miss without him.
Now, he's the #1 run producer on this team. When you don't have him in the lineup, you got to depend on a lot of other people. Those same people you would have normally depended on, along with Jose, had to pick up the slack when he was gone. And at first things started out well, but lately the offense has not produced. And Ricky Renteria realizes this team's much better with Jose Abreu in it.
And that's not to say the guys replacing him can't drive in runs. You just lose depth in your lineup because the players who replace him, like Matt Davidson, play in his spot. And Abreu comes out, you have to backfill that other location in the lineup, which loses you some power. Jose flips it to center field and down. So Sanchez speeding by second and into third. Abreu comes back and expands the hit streak to 8 games dating back to the 20th of August.
Big smile on his face. He caught this off the end of the bat and looped it into center field. He just reached down. He knew he didn't hit it very well. He didn't have to. Merrifield can't get to it, so runners at the corners, a chance to break through here in the top of the first inning. And Jose, welcome back to the lineup.
Good to see that big power back in the 3 spot.
Yeah. He just looking for contact. He got some.
That brings up Daniel Palka, who has some very positive memories of this place. Hey, check out the Negro Leagues Baseball exhibition now through September 26th. The traveling exhibit explores the connections of African-American baseball history to Hispanic cultures dating back to the late 1800s and is dedicated to the memory of Minnie Minoso. Find the exhibit in the Chicago Sports Depot every home game at 12 to 5 on non-game days. Daniel Apapa. And this is out number 2. O'Hearn over there to make the catch. And we told you the Sox have seen Jacob Junis before, once back in April, once recently at home on August the 17th. Haven't hit the slider well. The 4-seamer 9 for 18 entering play tonight. And that was the 4-seam fastball that Yolmer Sanchez took into left field. So Omar comes up with 2 on and 2 out in the first. Second base side, big hop to Merrifield, and Junis pitches around pretty significant trouble in this first inning. 2 left for the Sox. Lucas Giolito to the mound when we come back. Mondesi, who's been swinging it well. Gordon, Dozier, O'Hearn, Perez, Jorge Bonifacio, Brian. Brian Goodwin, a newcomer, at least for us, and Alcides Escobar.
Take a look at the defense, and now Ricky Renteria is going to put him out there with Nicky, Adam, and Daniel left to right in the outfield. Yomer, Tim, Yohan, and Jose in the infield. Wellington Castillo gets a nod behind the plate, and Lucas Giolito on the hill. Lucas going after his 11th win of the year, trying to get over 500. His ERA at 5.85 last time out. A tough outing for him against Detroit. 2 times ago against Boston, he was brilliant, and there you see the repertoire.
He had a 1-2-3 first inning in that start 6 days ago against the Tigers, but after that, the second inning was the end of the line as this ball is hit well to left field by Merrifield at the warning track on the wall, and it's out to start the game for Kansas City. A leadoff home run for Whit Merrifield on pitch number 1.
RBI number 53, home run number 12, and the one key to victory against these Royals is trying to hold down Whit Merrifield, something the Sox have been unable to do this year. He gets a fastball, it's a 4-seamer, and he hits it just far enough. So an ominous way to start this one as Nicky runs out of room, and that one gone.
There's ball number 1 to Mondesi. Adalberto Mondesi, one of the hottest hitters on this team, batting second today, just 23 years old, and showing the talent recently that the Royals knew was in those veins.
Well, he also is a stolen base machine. He's played 55 games. He's swiped 20 bases. So if you want to make sure he doesn't steal, you can't allow him on base.
Check swing on a ball upstairs. Mondesi's first game in the majors this year, June the 17th. And since August 25th, he's had 6 games with at least 2 hits. More often than not right now, he's got at least 2 hits. As that one 5-holes Bill Welke.
That was reminiscent of what Lucas did early in the season, was falling off the mound to the first base side quite a bit and consequently did not have much control. So hopefully that will not be welcomed back into his arsenal, because if he does that, it's going to be hard to pinpoint anything.
Three balls and a strike to Mondesi. Touch foul, 3-2. So what leads to a pitcher doing that mechanically?
Probably trying to throw the ball a little bit harder than he's capable of. The velocity will come to him in the course of this outing, but he's got to make sure that the motion, especially the follow through, is right where it should be to allow that velocity to come to him after he is fully loosened up and feeling pretty good about this performance.
Ball 4. Mondesi takes off. You mentioned the speed. He's not going to try to turn the corner, but you may recall Giolito against Kansas City on March the 31st had trouble in the first inning, and here's what the Royals have done against his pitches this season. 7 for 30 against the 4-seamer, 3 for 13 against the changeup. It hasn't been the hits for the most part. It's been the walks and the hit batters.
Well, twice now he's fallen off the mound to the first base side. Ball 4 to Mondesi and ball 2 to Mondesi.
That first inning in that first start of the year, March 31st, a single, a hit batter, and 2 walks. The first 4 reached. There was a bases loaded walk. Good news is 3 of those 4 guys aren't here anymore. John Jay, Mike Moustakas, and Lucas Duda. All departing varying times throughout the year. Mondesi's off, throw down to second is not in time. Stolen base for Adalberto Mondesi.
Wellington did as well as he could possibly do. He got rid of the ball as quickly as he could get rid of it. Unfortunately, he couldn't get it there in time. Mondesi very quick. This is a straight steal. He never looked back. And it's one of those times where, although the logistics said you couldn't do it because Tim was right in front of the bag, be good if he kept the tag on Mondesi, who did come off the bag completely.
Bill Welke over to the White Sox dugout. And Joe McEwing says play on. Or maybe not. Ryan Addison, the second base umpire, is going to come in and talk to Welke. And the Sox are going to go ahead and challenge this to see if Mondesi is indeed caught stealing. So Mike Kosierski in the replay room felt like the Sox got Mondesi. Let's see. Does he come off the bag and the tag stay on? I don't think the tag's on. Do you?
Well, that's not the best angle for this shot because we're seeing it from in back of Mondesi. Now take a look at the first angle. We'll watch the right foot. The right foot's on the bag. Now the question is the tag on him when he completely comes off the bag? And the answer was yes. Apparently it was.
He is out at second base. So good job by Cash in the replay room to see that the tag was on when he was off the bag. A big out for Giolito as well. Mike Kosierski in the replay room is an off-season basketball official. He's got to pinpoint things on the fly.
Well, that swipe tag, apparently he had a good piece of the middle part of his body on the swipe tag after the foot hit the bag and then came off.
2-1 to Gordon.
We've seen Alex Gordon every place in this lineup. And with the departure of just about everybody, he's up into the 3 spot.
You've been promoted. Why? All the executive branch of the company has been traded.
We had a bunch of guys who are better than you, but they're gone. So there you go. Enjoy the 3 spot.
Major League Baseball's great inflation. 3-1 from Lucas. Hit well left center field. Engel and Delmonico converge. That ball is up off the top of the padding and back into the field of play. So Gordon with a 1-out double in this first inning.
That's what we saw in our ballpark last time we looked at Kansas City. And Alex Gordon getting better and better because he's hitting the ball finally consistently to left center field. This is a fastball away. Gordon thinks he had all of it, but this is a huge ballpark, especially opposite field. This ball hits the top of the wall, bounces back in, and Gordon content with a 2-base hit in what looked like it was going to be a 2-0 game.
Hugely important out on the bases now. As Gordon runs and no throw to third, the Royals at breakneck speed trying to steal bases. This is officially their first.
We'll give a little credit to Hunter Dozier because when he saw the lead that Alex Gordon got and the jump he got, he just didn't swing. He realized it's going to be really difficult for Castillo to gun down Gordon at third base. So difficult he didn't get a throw off.
There's a strike from Lucas to Dozier. Hunter Dozier drafted 8th back in 2013 by Ned Yost's Royals. That was 9 spots ahead of Tim Anderson. Infield in, ground ball back to the mound, and Lucas on to first for round number 2. Take your family of 4 to one more White Sox game this season. With the family 4-packs, you'll receive 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 chips, and 4 sodas for as low as $49. Upper and lower level packages are available. Get yours at whitesox.com/4packs today.
It's a good pitch by Lucas. As he got the ball hit right back to him, he broke Dozier's bat, took a look, and froze Gordon at third base, which is a good thing before going to first.
In what's been a convoluted first inning, Lucas has a shot at getting out of this thing with only 1 run on a homer, a walk, and a double, and a stolen base.
O'Hearn was swinging it pretty well when we saw him in Chicago. So he's got a chance to make an impact on this organization. And with the departure of Duda, he gets to ply his trade at first base.
95 at bats into his Kansas City career, 25 for 95, 9 home runs, slugging over 600. Lineup has changed dramatically as we've seen them through the course of the season. It was a bunch of 30-somethings early in the year, and now the oldest guy is Alex Gordon at 34, and Escobar, the only guy other than him over 30 in the lineup.
Had a chance to talk to the fine general manager of these Kansas City Royals, Dayton Moore, who guided his team within 1 game of a World Series championship, only to win it the next year, and talked to him about a reconstruction and then deconstruction. He's in the process of taking this team apart and building it back. And he alluded to the fact it's not going to be real easy to do. There is a look at Dayton Moore on the right. He built his team around a wonderful bullpen. They made contact. They put the ball in play. They had good pitching, outstanding defense.
Engel started back, now comes in and makes the catch for out number 3. So only the 1 run across in this first inning. Lucas minimizes the damage. 1-0.
Runs on Duncan.
Second inning with the Sox down a run. The home run from Whit Merrifield, and that's all the scoring so far. In the shadow of the waterfalls at Kansas City. Nicky Delmonico, first pitch swinging. Here is Merrifield getting around it for out number 1. Matt Davidson enjoys those waterfalls. He's one of 3 Sox players with 20 home runs this year, and the maximum for the franchise is 6. It happened twice, 2008 most recently, 2004. 6 times 5 players have had at least 20 home runs.
In both of those years, 3 had at least 30.
May see Paul Konerko later on in our telecast as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Is that a tease or foreshadowing?
It's both. Amazingly enough.
Yeah, it is. In the same sentence.
Buy one, get one. So Castillo against Junis, who fires in a fastball at 91. That's the average fastball for Jacob Junis, 91 miles an hour. Slider is around 82. From Rock Falls, Illinois, Jacob Junis, just 25 years old in his rookie season with Kansas City.
He took a look down to where his landing foot was, and he didn't get a real good landing on the last one, so it threw the pitch off, and he looked down at it, made a correction.
Pumped to center field. Goodwin back at the wall. It is off the fence. Wellington on his way into second base. He is there as the throw ends up on the middle infield and bounces away. Salvi's got a shot at Castillo, and he throws him out. Great hustle from Salvador Perez. Castillo trying to push it, and he ends up with a double and out number 2.
Nice heads-up play by Salvi as he jumped on it quickly. Castillo hits the daylights out of this. Only a very big ballpark here in KC kept it in the park. Most ballparks, this is a home run. Not here. High off the wall. The throw gets away, and that's when the adventures start. Terrible throw in, and then Wellington decides, well, might as well try it. Not a great idea. Salvi was there to make the play, and the throw is right on the button.
417 feet off the bat, and it ends up being the second out of the inning.
You can't hit him much harder than that. Only the spacious dimensions of Kauffman Stadium kept it in the park.
That's a nasty slider right there, 0-2.
Well, that's one of the reasons why the Sox haven't hit the slider. They've hit his four-seamer, and they will consistently hit that. If he doesn't hit his spots, it's very hittable. But the slider's really good. It's tight, it's late, and it's usually in a good spot. And there was the sinker. Nice pick by Salvi. Junis is going to give up some hits, but he's going to be around the plate and doesn't walk himself into trouble very often.
1-2. He busted him inside for strike 3. Salvi threw to first just for fun. He's winging it all over the diamond. Once for an out, once for no reason. 1-0.
Presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media because Nationwide is on your side.
They're still basking in the glow of Patrick Mahomes' first week here in Kansas City. That'll tide him over for a while, as the Royals lead 1-0 tonight on a home run from Whit Merrifield. Was fouled back by Salvador Perez, who, it's going to surprise you, still likes to swing a lot.
I thought he would become a very patient hitter from the last time we saw him until this time, but apparently that's not the case. Although he's been hit 11 times, he hasn't walked all that often. 13.
For his career entering play tonight, he swings 54.5% of the time. For his whole tenure in Major League Baseball, 2011 till now, he swings at more than half the pitches he sees.
Well, if you're in the neighborhood of getting hit by pitches and walking, and they're very close to the same number, it's either going to be a very painful year or you're not going to score a lot of runs.
And he's had a very painful year. Started with the knee problem, moving some luggage into his home here in Kansas City.
And he's about to hit double digits in strikeouts. Will be the third member of this Kansas City team to do it if Lucas can wipe him out on the breaking ball.
On 1-2. That's up high. And the dirt, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Salvador Perez, then Bonifacio and Brian Goodwin. Well, at least it's much nicer than when we were first here in 2018. Day number 3 of the season, game 2. It was 45 degrees when Lucas started against Kansas City.
I remember it as being very pleasant.
I'm not sure we were both the same place. Left field, base hit on 3-2 from Perez. It's the 3rd hit for Kansas City tonight.
Got that fastball the inside part of the plate. He jammed him, but he was able to literally muscle it into left field. Got just enough of it to drop it in front of Nicky.
That's some strength right there.
He's a big and very strong man.
Welcoming Jose Abreu back into the lineup. Here is Bonifacio, the 25-year-old. If that was a swing, it was one of the calmest swings of the season.
He didn't want to start out too aggressively in this at bat. He wanted to ease his way into the swing.
Yeah, sort of limp into
that was the first half of that swing. Now we'll see what the second half looks like.
He's got a check raise plan. Oh, 1 in the dirt. So that first game here, Giolito threw 47 four-seam fastballs, 23 of them to right-handers, 24 to left-handers, 17 changeups, 14 sinkers, 9 curveballs, just 2 sliders.
Yeah, that was the day, if you remember, he really couldn't feel his fingers. He was trying to get that feeling all game long, just couldn't get it. And that really characterized the first few starts. Was he had terrible weather and couldn't get the feeling on any of the breaking balls, either the curves or the sliders.
That's on the edge for a strike, 1-2. More recently, the slider has been less used than at the beginning of this season, although last start 6 sliders, 3 curveballs in the inning and a third. Almost hit him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. .30 pitches deep for Giolito. A lot of long counts in the first 7 batters.
Right now, just doesn't have a whole lot of comfort. Hopefully it will come to him in the ensuing innings, but right now he's struggling.
On the ground, Sanchez. Moncada. And that is safe at first base. Looked like real time. It might be out number 2. Bonifacio called safe at first, and the Sox will look at this and decide whether or not to challenge.
Yolmer gets rid of it as quickly as he can. The relay at first, very close at first base. They are taking a look at it. Joe's looking at his watch to see how much time he's taking.
Yep.
And then he gave the go ahead and play to Ricky.
Now that doesn't mean necessarily that there wasn't evidence to go ahead and challenge. It means that the Sox, considering the situation, decided not to challenge. They have a system that they use in relaying what Cash is seeing in the video room, and then Ricky Renteria, based on what he gets from the video room as sort of a level of challengeable, that's when he makes the choice of whether or not to challenge. So close play, they get one out, and Brian Goodwin to the bat rack. Seems somehow right to have a Goodwin patrolling center field in Kansas City. No relation.
No.
But Tom Goodwin, former.
But he's a good one.
Royals center fielder. Yes, he is. Was that a compliment or just his name?
Just a good one.
Bounces away far enough, and Bonifacio to second base. Royals have been playing some better baseball despite being walked off in the rubber match against Minnesota at the end of that series in their last game at Target Field yesterday.
What I like about what Jorge Bonifacio just did was he turned around and looked at each and every one of the outfielders to find out where they are. Not enough players do that before each and every pitch. That will get you an extra step or two if you're trying to score on a base hit.
Check swing grounder, third base side. Sanchez plays it fair. That was bouncing foul, and it was just going to be a strike instead. Sanchez tried to pluck it, and it's a base hit for Goodwin.
Not a wise choice by Yolmer because, first of all, you don't have to know anything about Goodwin except the fact that he's a center fielder and a left-hand hitter to know that you got to let this one bounce again. You're not going to throw him out here. It's going to be impossible. So you see Bill Welke on the call. He realizes the ball's in fair territory. Yolmer's got to let this go. It's going to spin foul. But in any event, you're going to have a base runner at third and a base runner at first if Yolmer lets it go.
I think he knew it as he was reaching down based on his reaction that it was body first and then mind second.
Yeah, that's unfortunately not a particularly good play, and Lucas is in trouble again.
Escobar at the plate. Goodwin over at first. Former Nationals draft pick. Back in the first round, 34th overall, 2011, after the Sox drafted him, but didn't sign him in 2009 in the 17th round.
Some bugs ruining the at bat for Alcides Escobar, at least for the moment.
It's not terribly humid and a pretty still night at the ballpark.
Escobar doesn't strike out a lot and does hit the ball to right and right center a lot.
You're looking for a sacrifice fly. That is the range where you definitely give the green light based on arm and based on speed. That green bar out there, according to StatCast. Sharp breaking ball for a strike.
That's the best breaking ball that Lucas has thrown. Hopefully more of the same forthcoming.
Bonifacio at third, Goodwin at first. And one strike on Escobar. Another throw to first. Lucas paying much more attention to the base runners here in the second inning than in the first. Oh and 1. Goodwin holds. Escobar right hand side, long run. Moncada and Palka. Daniel can't get there. Throw comes into second base and the Sox do get the out. Goodwin did not read it well and the Sox get the second out of the inning. The run does come home with Bonifacio. It's 2-0.
Goodwin had no idea that Daniel couldn't get to that ball. Polka had a long way to run, and this ball was going to drop in front of him. Escobar does go to right field, but doesn't get a whole lot of it. And a heads up play then by Daniel as he gets it in and gets the force out at second.
So it's a 9-6 fielder's choice RBI for Escobar. And Polka gets out number 2. There's a hook for a strike to Whit Merrifield, who homered on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. So the Royals have had a caught stealing at second base on replay and a runner thrown out at second base on a fielder's choice that should have been a base hit.
An unusual night so far.
Second base, Moncada for out number 3. Kansas City gets a run on the Escobar RBI. It's 2-0 after 2. Engel stands in and jabs at a bunt for strike one. That ball was by him when he sent the bat its way.
Looked like he was thinking about pushing it right at second baseman Whit Merrifield. As long as you can make it tantalizing for the first baseman who thinks he can get there, you can always beat the pitcher to the bag.
We have seen a couple of really angry sliders from Junis so far tonight. A lot of bite. Angle center field. Goodwin back at the warning track. Gone! 2-1.
Gives you some sort of an idea just how strong Adam Engel is, taking it out over the center field wall for his 6th home run of the year. RBI number 28, and the Sox are on the board. That fastball right down the middle looked like his four-seamer. His four-seamer usually gets hit pretty hard, and that was the case right there. Giving up 28 home runs now in less than 160 innings of work.
Adam can flash the RoboCop look again with the home run chain. Sunglasses not on yet, but he wears it well. So last 3 weeks worth of games for Adam Engel, and I know batting average isn't everything, but his average is up 15 points, starting today at 234, and we're starting to see flashes of a guy who certainly can hit in the major leagues as Moncada wraps out for the first out of the 3rd inning. And again, with his defense and what both the numbers and the eye test say about his defense, that could give him some staying power.
And although a lot of people talk about Lewis Robert in center field, they talk about some other guys maybe in center field, the fact remains that the man currently playing center field is hitting the ball better and better. And because he's a defensive wizard and is ranked among the best in baseball in patrolling center field, when he shows he can get it up there over 240, this is a very valuable member of this team. And because he's come on late, that's the impression he's going to leave with the staff, is that this is a guy that figured it out in the middle of the year. The batting average wasn't where he would like, but it's getting better and better. And he, for one, is not going to like to see this season end.
That one rang Bill Welke.
Yeah, he got hit hard with that one.
Down to one knee, the plate umpire. Salvador Perez says, well, I'm down here. Can I have another baseball, please?
Yeah, that will leave a bit of a mark.
He's got a smile on his face.
Yes.
So he's either got a dark sense of humor or he's doing okay.
He's stopping from crying is what it amounts to.
On the list of fun ways to spend your Monday evening, this would be well down that list.
Yeah, that's he's going to remember that one for a bit. But just like catchers, umpires are pretty tough guys also, because you're going to get hit quite a bit.
Sometimes in the upper thigh area.
Yes, exactly the area you might get hit in.
There is strike, actually 4 of the at bat. 2 down. Abreu coming up. Your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your home team throughout the season and the official mortgage provider of the Chicago White Sox. Get started today at rate.com. First one, a strike to Jose Abreu. Just off the DL.
Jose would like to get in a position where that slider is not the wipeout pitch, because it's been a pretty good slider tonight.
on the grounded foul off Abreu, 1-2. Question is, why do you throw so many fastballs if the slider is that good?
Good question. I have no idea. Apparently he
keep
doesn't want
spinning it up there,
he
right?
doesn't want to see the boys get used to it, but as long as it's that good, you might as well stay with it. Especially if you can see the batting average against your four-seam fastball.
He's thrown 23 fastballs, 4 seamers or sinkers combined, 6 sliders. Wide of third, foul. Unless you really believe that if people see it more and more often, it's going to become ineffective. But that doesn't look like one of those sliders that you can actually time up very well.
Well, sometimes what pitchers will do is they'll wait for the third time through the batting order and then go slider heavy.
That was a slider and a pretty good one. Mondesi has it go under his glove, and Abreu's safe at first.
Probably is going to go as a base hit.
Two lasers from Abreu so far tonight. Ooh, that's E6. It's a long way to go for an error.
It is that. Right back through the middle, right over the mound, and Mondesi, even if he makes the catch, it's going to be a very close play at first because he's not going to be able to right his footwork right away. We remember this official score from the last couple times we were here.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the one that makes Bob Rosenberg look like a genius.
Rosie, I was laughing with you.
Rosie is our official scorekeeper in Chicago, and a very good one, by the way.
Daniel Polka hurts this ball to right field on a line, and gone! Polk smash around the pole.
Inning kept alive on the play that was not made up the middle, and Daniel Polka hits his 22nd home run, a line drive rocket. He's driven in 57 of them. What a year it's been. A rookie year to remember, as Junis throws another fastball, and that fastball is a rocket. Salvi Perez wants it upstairs. He doesn't get it there. He gets it around waist high, and you can tell that Daniel knew exactly what to do with it.
Another destruction from Daniel Polka, and the Sox have taken the lead in the third. See, at home, that ball ends up in section 108, where all of his friends sit.
And here, no.
Daniel evidently doesn't want to be videoed after his power display.
Oh,
and that's a balk. Unless time was called.
Well, I do believe the official score might have changed the Abreu ball up the middle to a base hit, which it should have been at the beginning. If that's the case, the runs will then be earned.
And there it is.
And they are indeed earned.
Bad timing for Junis on that scoring change as the ball leaves the atmosphere. He gives up 2 more earned runs. Daniel Polka is alone right now. Even just him worth the price of admission.
Well, look, here's what happened. If you look at the 2 at-bats, the first at-bat, it was a high fastball. He popped it straight up. And they got him out.
That's a called strike 3 on the outside corner or thereabouts. It's easy to forget after that laser that this inning started with Adam Engel going deep to center field. No chance for him to rob his own home run, so it left the yard. Palka then follows with a smash. 3-2 Sox. Three straight starts, at least 6 innings, strikeouts galore.
That fastball was as lively as any fastball he's thrown this year, and he was just brilliant. Pretty decent offensive club that he just took apart.
And here's some of the famous number 40s in White Sox jerseys. Bartolo Colon twice, Wilson Alvarez, Pete Vukovich, Britt Burns. Not pictured, Jim Parquet, Charlie Hager, Bill Voss, and some others as well.
A cast of thousands.
Yes, indeed. And Alberto Mondesi, who walked, stole a base, and then had that stolen base reversed. Take strike 2. So a refreshed Lucas Giolito, given the lead at 3-2 here in the third.
And let's hope that that breaking ball, whichever he chooses, either the curveball or the slider, comes to him along with the straight change. If that's the case, he can nullify a lineup that has come out and swung the bat very well against him in the early going.
Breaking ball for strike 3. First strikeout for Lucas.
Looks like a little cut on that fastball to me. If it was a slider, it was a hard slider, but looked like very well could have been a little cutter on that fastball. Whatever the case, he threw it by Mondesi. It's a good man to keep off base.
One down for Gordon. And a hook drops off the plate, 1-0.
Still, even though that curveball missed, it was still a good enough curveball to maybe starting to get the feeling for it.
And the second time through, he's gone away from the fastball for the most part. Gordon's a little frustrated he didn't hit that ball harder, I think.
That was either supposed to be that slider or cutter again. It was the same exact pitch that he threw to Mondesi, only this one didn't do quite as much.
Just kind of floated.
Yeah, stayed there, and Gordon thought he had a good cut at it.
Fastball whipped near his elbow, 2-1.
Despite the age of this ballpark, it is just a beautiful place.
Just got a comfortable feel.
It's terrific. It's set down nicely down from the road. They've done great changes with it. They've kept up, putting little changes here and there to keep it current, but still very comfortable.
3 balls, 2 strikes. That looked more like a slider.
They're both kind of the same speed. That one had a little more depth to it, but they're both 84, 85.
Three and 2. Slowly hit up the middle. For out number 2. Anderson throws out Gordon. You know, the one upgrade they made that you really needed to have here was the turf going away, because nobody's feet are getting burned anymore.
No, and also as their team changed, and you know, it's like a chicken and egg thing. What came first, the turf leaving or the team changing its character? It used to be just speed and defense. They had a lot of speed, a lot of defense, good pitching, and the artificial surface played into their strength because they were faster and better defensively than any team that came into play. Then they changed. And with it, the ballpark changed. They went to the natural surface, which is much better and a whole lot cooler in normally a red hot summer.
Which they've had yet again.
Oh, yeah.
Here in Kansas City.
That humidity and everything else. Here in St. Louis, I mean, both places have now the natural surface, which both places had the artificial surface. And under Whitey Herzog at both places built the exact same teams to take advantage of both ballparks and won in both places.
Line drive right field. Polka has it go by him, and this is trouble. Dozier on the move. He's into third to a stop sign.
It's going to be a 3-base hit. Sinking line drive, and Daniel thinks he's got a shot at this, and turns out he doesn't. And then the ball does get by him. So Adam Engel backing him up, which is a good thing, but then has some problems. Dozier would have been at third base anyway. So that's why they're giving him a 3-base hit. And Lucas has to pitch himself out of this.
You wonder what would have happened with that ball on the turf if they still had it here. Go pinging around in the corner if it takes a bad bounce.
He scores.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one goes all the way to the wall and then rattles around for a bit.
Quite the plus minus ricochet for Daniel Polka this inning.
Yeah.
Crushes a ball to right field, and then as he was reminiscing pregame, I said to him, "Site of your first hit," and he goes, "First hit, first home run, first triple, first error, though they didn't score at an error." He remembers his adventures in the outfield.
Yeah. Well, he's worked hard at trying to get a whole lot better, and for the most part he has been.
Yeah, that was needlessly daring.
Yeah.
Two and one to O'Hearn. Wild game so far. A lot of strange stuff packed into the first 3 innings. Abreu at first. Collects the final out. Dozier stranded at third. No harm done to Giolito. 3-2 after 3. part of your evening, wherever you might be, late dinner, really early breakfast. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you, and our entire crew here from Kansas City, enjoying the Billy Joel interlude during the break. Evidently, they've got a concert coming up here at Kauffman Stadium. Billy Joel will be here.
And they keep playing Billy Joel's songs.
Yeah, it feels like Billy Joel night.
Thought he might have been here already.
Two balls, no strikes. Nicky Delmonico from Jacob Junis, the former Rock Falls Rocket. High school player west of Chicago, not far from the Iowa border, nestled against the Rock River. He was actually a third baseman in high school, but pitched as well and has become a major league pitcher rather quickly.
Probably made the right decision.
Okay, so Bill Welke's had a couple of balls go between his legs tonight.
One he wished would have gone between his legs.
One very notably.
Yeah. Some nights are tougher than others for the boys behind the plate.
To second on the ground for Whit Merrifield. And one gone. Time now for Sox Math. It is brought to you by, as always, Audi. Number of off days during this road trip multiplied by Reynaldo Lopez innings, his last 3 starts. Brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional deals. Hashtag Sox Math. First correct answer wins a prize from the road. Could be Billy Joel tickets. Probably won't be.
Could be, though. Still have that option.
Castillo takes a strike. Best event you've ever been to? Concert, sporting event, baseball game, anything. Number 1 entertainment thing you've been to?
I'll wait for this one to come down.
You got a moment.
Yeah.
Merrifield, now number 2.
One of the games that I was at where the Bulls won it at Chicago Stadium, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the times.
Suns.
Let's see.
Probably were at a couple of them, I assume.
One great football game when Kurt Warner went head to head with Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And they played in Phoenix, and I had seats on an angle and watched just how little room they had to get the ball in. And they both had an enchanted night. It was just a wonderful, wonderful football game. I mean, outstanding.
That's the best part about watching sporting events, is seeing, we see every night guys at a very high level, and then you watch somebody do things that is so far beyond the average player. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, it is. Just watching great talent, doesn't matter what sport it's in. Watching great talent is something that you really have to enjoy.
Escobar to first for a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom 4, Sox by a run here in Kansas City. winner for you. It's a first-time winner, actually, brought to you by Audi. 2 off days on the road trip times 20 innings for Reynaldo Lopez's last 3 starts. 40 is your answer. House 423 is your winner.
Very nice. Love first-time winners.
Congrats to House. The good doctor is
Yeah,
in.
it was a great series, and we love the fact that he wins for the first time.
Are you fading yourself in and out?
No, I don't know what's happening.
Are you speaking into a giant shell by the beach?
Seemingly. I think everything's going to be okay. We live in hope.
Salvador Perez, Jorge Bonifacio, and Brian Goodwin to bat here in the 4th against Giolito. And there's ball number 1 from Lucas to Salvi, who didn't exactly rip a base hit to left, but used some upper body strength to push it there. Two balls, no strikes on Perez. Some good races, especially in the National League. The Rockies a half game up on the Dodgers. Arizona 2.5 back. The Diamondbacks at Colorado tonight, leading 1-0 in the 3rd. How about Kyle Freeland and what he's done at Coors Field? He has one of the lowest ERAs ever at Coors Field.
Watching that young man pitch, you get a feeling that he really understands the craft, because he's not overwhelming, but he doesn't leave many pitches over the middle of the plate.
Anderson plucks it and throws out his arch nemesis, Salvador Perez. 1 gone.
Well, you pretty much know when you corral the baseball, you've got all kinds of time to get it across. So we'll watch it. Now it gets real easy. Take as much time as you want, and he got it there in plenty of time.
Not exactly his arch nemesis, but Salvi played the fun police earlier this year against Anderson, put on his old sirens, and started a little bit of a fracas.
Much ado about nothing, as it turned out.
Indeed. 1 down for Bonifacio. All right, so mentally, you're down 2-0. You're not throwing the ball in the strike zone as much as you want. Then suddenly your offense gives you 3 runs. What does that do?
It's a big lift, and he went out there last inning. Although he gave up the triple, should have been a single, should have been a relatively easy inning. As it was, he pitched his way out, getting O'Hearn, who's a pretty good hitter, on a ground ball.
But why does it do so much? It literally should have no effect on your own performance, but it does.
It does. It just, you're an emotional person, and you go out there and you feel a whole lot better leading 3-2 than you do down 2-0, because down 2-0, if you give up a couple, now you got a big problem. You're up 3-2, you give up a couple, not so much of a problem.
Lucas reaches down to snare it and throw Bonifacio out. 2 gone.
Lucas now has retired 7 of the last 8, so things getting a whole lot better as he takes this one right back up the middle. It's to the glove hand side. When anybody hits it to your glove hand side, you should be able to make the play. Lucas did.
Big tall dude, reached down pretty well.
He's big.
That's why Tim Anderson used to call him Bigfoot.
Well, his size hasn't changed, has it?
Nope.
He can still call him that.
He can, especially considering Players Weekend and his jersey. Strike 1 to Goodwin. .62 pitches deep tonight for Lucas Giolito. Goodwin didn't know whether to swing, and he did, and maybe he shouldn't have.
Now that one was out of the zone, but it looked tempting enough.
Are those cutters? What are those?
I think they're cutters. That's what it appears to me.
And I know pitchers call things different things, but that does not look like his typical slider.
No.
One of them has.
His typical slider has some depth to it. That one looks like it goes straight across. So could very well be he might have done some speaking to James Shields, because James has used that cutter for a long time very effectively. And there is the slider. There's a fastball in. There's a changeup. So he shook to the change, and we'll see how effective it is.
A little bit down.
Wasn't a bad pitch. In fact, it had a piece of the plate, arguably.
Two. He got him with a running fastball for strike 3. 1-2-3 inning for Giolito, who's found his center. 3-2 Sox.
It got the Sox on the board leading off the 3rd inning. A fastball down the middle and gone. 6th home run of the year. Visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com.
Here's Adam again to take a slider strike. Six home runs for Adam this year, batting 9th for most of the season. He chops this one to 3rd. Escobar was playing way in and didn't have much of a role to wait for out number 1. The White Sox Newborn Club is the perfect gift for the newest member of your family. The package includes a Southpaw onesie and hat, super cute, a White Sox bib, and a customized White Sox birth certificate. Get yours today at whitesox.com/newborn. Have your Sox fan be the earliest Sox fan. There's ball 1 from Junis to Moncada, who's grounded out twice. Sox on a 9-game road trip in 11 days to 3 cities as Moncada strokes this ball to right field for the Sox first hit since the Polka home run.
Five in a row retired, but this is a slider. And Yuan takes it through the right side.
Sanchez coming up. We'll see if the Sox have any interest on running against Salvador Perez. Usually not a terribly wise choice. trying to win himself a Gold Glove here in the American League. He's done so already 4 times in his career, every year from 2013 to 16. 6-time All-Star. Well, you said Junis might, 3rd time through, start spinning those sliders up there even more.
He's throwing a few more sliders these days.
High fastball, non-competitive, ball 1.
Selvey tried to surprise Yoan Moncada by patting the dirt like he had called for a slider and he wanted him to bury it, only knowing that he had called for a fastball, and there appears to be another one.
Well, it wasn't the best dupe in the world, because right after he did that, he had his glove about at the shoulder blades of Yolmer Sanchez.
Well, he wants him to hear. He wants him to hear him patting the ground. Now, usually that doesn't affect the hitter very much because they are wise to wily catchers.
On the ground, Merrifield and Mondesi in the turn. Got him. Close play at first. We'll see if the Sox want a challenge. Sanchez, a long final step. And the 30-second clock is on with Joe McEwing on the phone. Out is the call, emphatically from Super Joe, who's got umpiring in his future.
That's it. You never know. You got to keep your options open.
Inning, Daniel Palka, Adam Engel each with home runs. Palka drove in 2, Adam drove in himself, and a fastball flies up and in from Giolito for ball 1.
Over the last month, Lucas is throwing it better, and in evidence, 85% of the time, 2 of his first 3 pitches have been in the strike zone over the last month. Usually when that happens, you'll save yourself a lot of walks.
And if I recall, looking at that number in April and May, it was the opposite.
He was having a real hard time with getting 2 of the first 3 pitches in the zone. But things have gotten a whole lot better for the young right-hander, and the sky's the limit as far as his future is concerned.
Don Cooper, it was a side session in Boston that Giolito had thrown, and he was talking to Ricky Renteria. And he said, you know, I don't always know if this is necessarily going to pay dividends, but I know that I just watched the best side session I've seen from him so far this season. And it wasn't right then that the turnaround began, but the improvement started to build into a nice run of starts late this season, with the exception being the last one against the Tigers.
Well, he spent the early part of the year trying to get the exact same feeling he had the last 7 starts of last year and all of spring training this year, because he threw it very well in both instances and then came out with bad weather and whatever the case may be, lack of rhythm, whatever it was, and he just couldn't find the plate. That went by the boards after 5 or 6 starts, and he's been very good since then.
Soft and low, 3-2 on Escobar. Former Milwaukee Brewer who came over in that Zach Greinke deal with Jeremy Jeffress, Lorenzo Cain, Jake Odorizzi. As Reynaldo Lopez has a quick chat with his skipper. Lopez showing Ricky Renteria where his shoulder is.
Yes, it's right around this area.
Up and in, ball 4.
That is not an easy thing to do, but he was able to do it, and that is walk Escobar. That was just a 27th walk in 437 at bats. So we'll take a look at StatCast AI, powered by AWS, and it's the home run off the bat of Whit Merrifield, leading off the ball game. His 12th of the year. Kansas City took the lead on one just over 100 miles an hour exit velocity and 32 degrees launch angle.
Another very solid season for Whit Merrifield. Lucas trying to start with that breaking ball for a strike, and he missed again. Merrifield 19 hits against the Sox this year. As the runner goes, and the Sox will only get 1 out. Escobar to second base, Merrifield out at first.
Ned Yost brings out the hit and run. Merrifield makes some contact.
Told you about those 19 hits that he's got against the Sox. Here's what he's done against specific pitches. Had the 19th on the home run to start the game, but 9 for 37 against the fastball, and he's all over the secondary stuff from the Sox.
Just a smart hitter, understands what to do with each and every pitch, which pitches to pull, which to take the opposite way, and got the ball to the right side of the infield on the hit and run, just couldn't get it by Abreu.
Mondesi with a walk and a strikeout. This will not be either of those. Nicky in left has out number 2, and Escobar thought about running. Nicky was fading away from the play, and Escobar jammed on the brakes.
Well, that's why he was thinking about running, because of the way Nicky played this ball. And Escobar's been around a long time. He realized that Nicky was catching this ball backing up. He's on his heels. If you're on your heels, you can't get a throw off. And Escobar, maybe a little earlier in his career, he does take off and probably makes it. But this time decides that rather than making the 3rd out at third base, he would go back to the bag. But that's not a good habit for Nicky to get into.
There's a chance he gets there anyway,
yeah,
Escobar.
I know, but again, it was a gamble, especially the way Gordon's been swinging it.
Off speed for strike 1 to Gordon, who doubled in the first, stole a base, then grounded out to short in the 3rd. Gordon now 8 extra base hits against the Sox this year, 8 of his 16 total hits. Nothing in 2 on Gordon. with Escobar at second, 2 out. Giolito to Gordon. For strike 3, he nipped the inside corner. Two-seamers become the Terminator for Giolito. To the 6th inning we go. Sixth inning, Sox up 3-2. Thanks for joining us. He's Steve. I'm Jason. Jose Abreu, Daniel Palka, Omar Narvaez to face the starter for Kansas City, Jacob Junis. Told you about the races in the National League earlier on. Houston has won tonight. That's win number 90 for the Astros. They're now 3 games up on Oakland, which is off this evening. Coming down to the wire. Fewer than 20 games left in this regular season. Sox will be on the road in Baltimore for 3 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the question is.
Maybe for 3.
Yeah, batten down the hatches. Tropical, whatever it is right now, Florence, possible hurricane, possible tropical storm is out there looking like it's going to take a path toward the eastern seaboard of the United States.
Well, one of my dear friends, Mike Layton, in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, was told to evacuate. 187 miles of shoreline in South Carolina. All told, the governor declared that everyone should evacuate. So they're really taking the storm seriously, as you would expect they would. And it's got a chance of doing a whole lot of damage.
Those winds ramped up, especially over the last 24 hours. And it's tough when a storm like this hits so late in the season, and we've seen it before in Major League Baseball. You've got to fit these games in somewhere, especially for teams in the race. And there are a number of East Coast teams at home this weekend in the majors. Yankees are home, Boston's at home, Atlanta's at home.
And a couple tonight. I mean, the Mets were postponed with Miami. That game doesn't mean anything. But Washington at Philadelphia also postponed. They were trying to do whatever they could to get that field ready in Philadelphia. They were burning everything and trying to get it dry and doing all that kind of stuff.
They blowtorched the. You're not joking. They blowtorched the field tonight. I've seen helicopters come in the minors. You seen that?
Yes, and burning. The burning of the ceremonial burning of the infield.
Now let's sacrifice the infield. See if we can
get a game in.
Yeah. 3-2, fouled away by Abreu. At one point, when I was doing games in A-ball, there was a large rainstorm in a city in North Carolina where the team I was with was playing. And the tarp was on the field. They got it out there real quick for one of those pop-up thunderstorms. And it was fantastic work by the grounds crew. Truly wonderful work. Problem was the tarp had a hole in it along the third base side, as Bonifacio is underneath out number one. So the tarp gets rolled out there in no time flat, and there's a hole. So there's just a giant puddle over at third base. What do? They brought out large office fans to try to dry the infield.
How'd that work?
You know, the game was postponed, Steve. Gonna shock you, I know. One down for Polka, who wants another home run.
Well, he can't put this pitch in play. The reason is that we have the high-speed replay powered by Xfinity coming up after this pitch. If he puts in play, it's going to ruin the timing of everything.
It's foul. You've got time.
There you go. The high-speed replay powered by Xfinity. And it's a home run off the bat of Daniel Polka. Just 102.6 miles an hour, which for him is pedestrian. 24-degree launch angle, which for him is a line drive.
What's James Shields' launch angle here? Oh, we didn't have the opportunity to see it. There's strike three. At the end of that celebration, he reached over, grabbed James Shields, and lifted him up.
Yeah, good launch angle.
Two down. James on his day off became a rag doll.
None the worse for wear, however. Talking with Matt Davidson.
Talking pitching with the future Shohei Ohtani.
Never really know. You got to keep your options open.
Now Matt did throw a bullpen 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. As Merrifield throws out Narvaez. Omar double parked today. Twice he's grounded out on the first pitch. Junis through 6, 3-2 Sox, bottom 6. Karaoke to center field.
That's who they are. It's Mitch and Betty Karaoke. Yeah. White Sox fan, big one, came to the game. Both. Outstanding.
She's got allergies.
Yeah, I know. She's pro-histamine.
Interesting platform when the pollen count is as high as it is today. There's a breaking ball for ball one to Dozier, who tripled to right in the third past Daniel Polka. Sox with 2 home runs in the game. The Royals with a Merrifield homer in the first. Giolito 80 pitches deep. He had some hazy command in the first inning and the second as well, but that, for the most part, has gone away.
This has kind of been, it's not a game plan exactly. It's kind of been the MO, the modus operandi of Lucas Giolito, is get off to a start where he's not all that comfortable, giving up a run or two early, and then all of a sudden the command does come to him and he settles things down. That's exactly how it worked out tonight. Home run and a double with a walk in the first inning. Fortunate to get out with just a run. Second inning, couple of base hits and another run on 2 hits. And then 1 hit after that. And that's been it.
Anderson at shortstop finds that he has the ball and slings it for out number 1.
If you got a strong arm, and Tim Anderson has one of those, you can wait a little longer. And this was a double clutch after he caught the ball. So we'll take another look at it. It's a Danley's defensive play. Tim going to his right. Can't get it out of the glove. When he finally does, he gets it across just an eyelash ahead of Dozier. This is a terrific play. Finally gets a feel for it. Oh, a strong arm. Fading away from the throw in the hole. Gets it there ahead of time. The defense has been spectacular. So when you think garages, think Danley's. Tagline, please.
Line. There's ball number 1 to Ryan O'Hearn. So that's why you've never acted in Hollywood for the most part.
I could never get the tagline down.
Poor cue card guy, always catching it on the chin when you're in the old sound stage. There's ball 2. Were you ever in, like, as a cameo in any movies?
No, but I did turn down a soap opera.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the one that was Susan Lucci in it? Days of Our Lives, is that the one?
All My Children?
Something like that. Yeah, All My Children. I turned that down.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be a love interest of hers.
That ball's crushed to center field. Angle at the warning track, and this game is tied. It's tax season. O'Hearn evens us at 3.
We talked about O'Hearn swinging the bat very well these days, and he hits his 10th home run of the year. He's driven in 24, and that a no-doubter. That one hit to right center field, and in the middle of this lineup, he's pretty dangerous. He gets a hold of a high fastball, and even with the spacious dimensions of this ballpark, the ballpark can't hold it. That one was hit a long way.
Yeah, no question that time. He can really swing it, O'Hearn.
Oh, there's no doubt. He's got a chance to be a pretty decent player.
That one dropped by Castillo. So Lucas has to bounce back. We're tied at 3 in this 6th inning. 4 home runs in the game so far. You want a big swing? Salvador Perez will offer you a big swing.
That was a big swing.
Lucas has to go cover. He does. Abreu feeds him, and 2 gone. Abreu and Giolito working in concert for the 2nd out as Bonifacio comes up. Brother of Emilio Bonifacio. 2 different types of players, the Bonifacios, but both major leaguers. all of 78 at-bats with the White Sox in 2015 for the brother, Emilio. Remember all of them.
Each and every one.
13 for 78, 2 doubles.
I remember a single, ground out,
Yeah.
a couple of flyouts.
Got it.
Hit a line drive once.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah. Grounded into a double play
Your
4
memory
times.
is really impressive.
Well, least I could do.
Literally. Anderson for out number 3, but the Royals have tied the game. Ryan O'Hearn takes it deep, 3-3 after 6. Over in the minors. Cody Medeiros, the strikeout leader for the AA Birmingham Barons. That's after he came over from the Brewers organization in the Joaquim Soria trade. Then Tom Shaw and Cease and Brennan and Dunning. Dylan Cease, had he spent the entire season there, likely would have been one of those strikeout leaders. It is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. All right, so we need a hero.
Good inning for it.
We're holding out for a hero. Delmonico, Castillo, Anderson for ball 1. During the break, you remembered some acting that you forgot you had done.
Right, outside of the turn down of
Susan
Lucci.
Center field. Every time we talk about your acting career, ball goes flying to center.
I know, but this one stayed in the park, unfortunately.
1 down.
There was an episode of ER that I was on. Wisely, they did not show me. It was just a baseball game in the background.
I thought you were playing a cadaver.
No, it was during the live episode. They had a live episode.
That's right.
Yeah, and it was on in the background. And the good news is I still get residuals.
Do you really?
Yeah. I get about $6.30 a year. Something along those lines.
Outstanding.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
That was groundbreaking TV, now that I think back on it, the live episode of ER.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
What did you have to do?
Oh, all kinds of prep work. Pretty much do the game, and they just slapped it on there.
But it wasn't an actual game.
Yeah, it was an actual game.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, so you literally did no acting?
No.
And they just put the game?
Yes.
Okay.
It was on in the lounge of the doctors as they walked by. And you could hear it in the background.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the candy bar you get every year or so.
Oh, thanks.
Right field, Bonifacio at the line to make the catch for round number 2. Hey, head to the park and cheer on your White Sox one more time in 2018 when the Sox take on the Cubs and Indians September 21st through the 26th. Get your tickets right now at whitesox.com. Those likely will be 2 first-place teams that come in. The Cubs is self-explanatory why you'd want to go to those games, but Cubs' lead is shrinking in the National League Central right now, down to 2 games starting play today with Milwaukee.
And they trail Milwaukee 3-2, that game in the bottom of the 6th. So they could see their lead actually fall to 1 game if they don't come back in that one. The Brewers trying to get there.
How fun would it be for the Sox to be able to stand in the way of the Cubs trying to get to the finish line?
That would make it a wildly entertaining last part of the season. In the meantime, Junis has thrown the ball very well, given up a couple of home runs. That's all 3 runs given up, the result of home runs. Other than that, he hasn't walked anybody, and it's been a nice performance.
To 1. Tapped back to Junis. He is ready. And he's got out number 3. Junis 7 in a row, retired since the Moncada single in the 5th. Deadlocked at stretch time.
Treat yourself to a turkey Italiano melt. You would like that.
Yeah.
Chipotle
because I'm
Southwest
both.
steak. I'm from the Southwest. And cheese. Or the buffalo chicken wrap. Limited time
How
only
long
at
is this?
participating restaurants. Well, I got to get to the other half when we start the next inning. Anyway, no, that's
Brought
it.
to you by Danley's?
That is 14B. No, that's Subway. So much sandwich. Actually,
you
that
ad-lib
was,
that?
that was an ad lib. Yeah, that wasn't in there.
Well, thanks for joining us, folks. 3-3 here into the 7th inning. It is Goodwin, then Escobar, and Merrifield. 8, 9, and 1 coming up for Kansas City. First pitch Hunting, pop up, third base side, Sanchez, Anderson. Sanchez and Anderson playing the role of Elvis Andrus and Adrian Beltre today. Tim Anderson and Yolmer Sanchez. Time now for Sticks and Stone, brought to you by Volkswagen. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer or VWDealer.com. Against which team did you make your most starts?
Okay, well, it certainly could be the Royals or Brewers. Threw against the Brewers a lot. But I'll say the Cleveland Indians because I'm from there and they probably could use some pub other than winning that division every year.
Yeah, going to the World Series.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
All of those things they do.
I'll say the Tribe, although it could very well be Milwaukee.
We're in Kansas City. That's a hint, I would imagine.
Really?
Well, Quizmaster Joe Grube, I don't think would trick you like that.
Oh, he's pretty crafty. So you think it's the Royals, huh?
I have to imagine we are here.
Yeah.
What was it like playing on that turf when they had it?
It was really hot. It was exceptionally hot. I remember it being a touch hotter, although people here dispute that, in St. Louis.
Really?
I threw there on a July 4th, lost 10 pounds, and the temperature off the turf was in excess of 137 or 138 degrees. I mean, it was like in the 140s, I believe. It was ridiculous.
People have said that they would go into the locker room or clubhouse or dugout and put their feet in ice. Is that true?
I mean, they tried to do everything. Sometimes the plastic on the bottom of the cleats would start to melt. It was that bad.
Ball was crushed toward the Sox dugout.
Yeah, the biggest break was that it hit the screen in front of the dugout and did not descend into the dugout, as Darryl Boston would have had a very bad road trip. That one didn't miss by much, getting over right where it says Academy.
Thibault holding his ground as much as he could. 0-2. Second base, Yoan Moncada has out number 2. Let's see if it was indeed a trick. And the answer is the Cleveland Indians. We are going there on the road trip. No, it's Milwaukee.
I knew I threw against them a lot. Just didn't know which team.
That's one of my favorite logos because of the M and the V there. You don't see it right away. It looks like a glove.
Right.
But it's a lowercase m and a lowercase b, signaling Milwaukee Brewers.
Very creative.
Love those.
Yeah, very nice.
Hartford Whalers had one of those when they existed. And ball 1 to Whit Merrifield.
White Sox pen up and going. It is Jace Fry.
Lucas pitch number 98 tonight. 2-0.
I assume Fry is getting up in case this inning stretches to Gordon. But Lucas would have to lose both Merrifield and Mondesi to have that happen, and hopefully that will not be the case.
2-0 is there for a strike in the upper reaches of the zone. To a 2-1 to Merrifield. Now 2-2.
That was a good slider on his 100th pitch.
Wide of third and foul. Little Salvi.
Little left-handed Salvi. Got a souvenir? Maybe he can buy some teeth.
Oh, a keepsake.
Very nice.
Two coming. Merrifield gets a piece again. Hey, don't miss any White Sox action in 2019. Full and partial ticket packages are on sale now, offering you the best seats, savings, and benefits. For more information, 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. California native Lucas Giolito on a 2-2 for right field and foul. Tie ball game, 2 out, nobody on, 7th inning. 2-2 to Merrifield. That was really close.
Well, actually, it wasn't all that close. It was right down the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how Bill Welke missed this one, but he did. And that one had the whole plate.
The reach across certainly,
Yeah.
but it's.
I know it had the zone. Oh well. Merrifield gets a break. Hopefully, it's not costly.
3-2. On the ground, foul of third. You think you would have said, "Oh well," if you were on the mound?
Yeah.
Oh, shucks, Bill.
Took those things with a grain of salt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pick me up the next time. Don't worry about that. It can happen to anybody.
A walk's fine in a tie game.
Yeah. No big deal.
Sure. Three balls, 2 strikes. Double figure pitches in this at bat. Lucas. Merrifield, center field. Angle is on the case. And a 1-2-3 7th inning nonetheless for Lucas Giolito, his 5th 7-inning start. A souvenir for him and a Sox comeback maybe after this.
That's an information sponsored by UI Health. It's providing expert care for you and your family. UI Health, changing medicine for good. Learn more at uihealth.care.
So Jacob Junis, his last 6 starts, he's allowed at most 2 earned runs coming into tonight. The Sox have him for 3 this evening. However, he's gone 23 innings his last 3 starts. Complete game against the Tigers 2 starts ago, 7 against Cleveland. As Engel pushes it right to Escobar. And 1 gone in the 8th.
One of the factors for Junis was starting to get that slider consistently in the zone, which he did after he gave up a couple of home runs, both coming in the 3rd inning where the Sox had all 3 runs on 3 hits.
He's only at 85 pitches. I mean, this is...
Hasn't walked anybody. And being a sinker ball pitcher. He doesn't strike out that many guys, although this year the strikeouts are good. He came in 145 strikeouts in 154 innings. Has not shown that kind of strikeout ability so far, but still pretty good pitching.
He hasn't walked anybody since August 17th.
It's a nice run.
That was against the Sox.
0 in the walk column.
At guaranteed rate field, he walked 3 in 5 1/3. Nothing going on in the Royal bullpen, and why would there be right now with the way Junis is throwing? He misses outside, 3-1, so maybe a hittable fastball coming from Moncada.
Keller and Junis have the 2 complete games. That's it for Kansas City, 2 of them.
Yoan did get that fastball at 91, and he catapulted it foul. Three balls, 2 strikes. Moncada had the last Sox hit in the 5th inning. And he stays alive here. Yolmer Sanchez next on a 1-for-3 tonight. Nice pitch.
That was there. Had a piece of the plate. Yoan gets rung up on a fastball on the outside corner.
Now some action in the Kansas City pen. Flynn is up and throwing.
Seen the big left-hander a few times.
Oof.
Good slider.
Yeah, that's not fair in the 8th inning. Tried to paint the corner and missed. 1-1. Sox with all 3 runs in the 3rd. Engel a solo homer. Palka a 2-run homer. One. Sanchez drops a bunt foul. Time now for our random White Sox leaderboard, and it is most home runs at Kauffman Stadium. Told you Paulie would show up later.
There he is.
And Jose Valentin, Harold Baines down there at 10, Matt Davidson with 8, so starting to climb that leaderboard. So before the game, I tweeted out a picture of this stadium and asked who the first person people thought of when they saw the field was. And one person said Liu Rodriguez, who was a middle infielder for the Sox back in 1999, just about as random as it gets. He had 93 at-bats in his White Sox career, and his only home run was here at Kauffman Stadium off of Mac Suzuki.
Was that a member of the Rodriguez family?
Of a Rodriguez family.
The Rodriguez family.
Which one?
The one who hit the only home run of his career here.
Yes.
That was a member of the family.
Are we doing a bit?
Yeah.
Just always want to be in the know on that. Sanchez takes up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jacob Junis, pitch number 99. On the ground, first base. O'Hearn with the flip and a late stomp by Junis. Well, route number 3, he is through 8. 3-3 your score. Here comes Chase Fry.
and then got better and better. Struck out 3, and we're going to show you 3 of them. He went 7 innings, gave up 6 hits, the 3 runs we talked about, a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts. And for his efforts, we'll get a no decision, unfortunately, as Jace Fry comes in the ball game. On for the 52nd time. He's 2-2. His ERA just about 4.5. He's got to go right through the top of this Kansas City lineup.
And a mammoth first batter with the speed of Mondesi. Last we saw Jace, it was a couple of days ago. He was hurt by the error to lead off his inning. He did not get an out. Rare for him. So last 2 outings, Jace Fry's allowed an earned run or more, although the opponents are still hitting only 188 against him. And he banks in a breaking ball for strike 1.
Mondesi with a little better power from the right side. He's hit 3 of his 7 home runs as a right-hand hitter, but only 62 as opposed to 130 at bats. 130 left-handed, 62 right-handed.
Not close. 0-2.
Good hard breaking slider.
Two strikes. And the dirt, Mondesi laid off. Not that time. He buried another, and with it, Mondesi, 1 gone. MLB At Bat is your #1 White Sox app. Customize your experience to get White Sox home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today, your hub for all Major League Baseball news, notes, highlights, and fun. So Gordon, lefty, rips one past Moncada.
Gordon's been swinging it consistently, a whole lot better than he did early in the season, and here he gets a hold of what appears to be a slider over the middle of the plate. 1 hop off of Yoan's glove and into right field.
It's up to Dozier, who hit a sinking liner to right field that found its way past Polka for a 3rd inning triple. He was eventually left at 3rd. And the Royals had to score the equalizer in the 6th on a 1-out Ryan O'Hearn home run. Well, we told you off the top the Sox struggled here a couple of years ago. Last season was better, but 15 and 16 were rough, especially in the late innings, especially for David Robertson in Kansas City and Tommy Kahnle. There was one weekend where the Sox led every game and eventually fell.
One game, I think, was 7-1.
I was going to say it was like a 7-run lead.
In the 9th inning. And it was an absolutely amazing comeback by Kansas City.
Remember a big hit from Drew Butera in that game, which he tends to do against the Sox. As there's Willie Peralta. After Jacob Junis tonight has gone 8 innings to allow just 3 runs.
Peralta is their closer.
Two balls, 1 strike. Gordon at first, Dozier the batter. 2-2 off speed away. You've got the lefty O'Hearn next. Ryan O'Hearn is 1 for 28 against left-handers this year. So if you get past Dozier, you've got the perfect matchup with O'Hearn coming up. That one hit was a home run against a left-hander, but he's never walked against a lefty. Struck out 14 times and left 18 runners on base. As Castillo may have had some adjusting to do on that foul ball. Two and two with Gordon at first. Wow. Very close.
This was one of those calls that can go either way, literally can go either way. Bill Welke thought it was down.
And so it was. 3 and 2, Gordon at first, and a throw over there.
Gianmar Gomez throwing in the pen.
He might be on to face Salvador Perez, depending on what happens. Another throw to first. Question is, would the Royals allow O'Hearn to bat for himself?
I think he'd be taken down. The question is, who exactly would take the spot?
They have the switch hitter Herrera on the bench, Gallagher, the right-handed catcher, and then two lefties, including the injured Brett Phillips. 3-2, he struck him out. Dozier wiped away, 2 gone.
2 pitches in the sequence, he went out of the zone. This being a big second one.
Here is Ryan O'Hearn, who homered in the 6th, but again has not seen lefties well at all, to the tune of 1 hit ever against left-handed pitching. No walks, 1 hit. It was a home run. Gordon at first. Ball 2.
Nice job by Wellington of making sure that one didn't get by. Good movement to his left. He backhanded it, not something you'd like to see him do, but it was effective.
Two and 1. Two strikeouts in the inning for Fry, 1 single for Gordon. The 25-year-old O'Hearn, lefty with Fry, and another throw to first. Two one. Upstairs, a fastball, 2 and 2.
Fortunately, O'Hearn went up and out of the zone, and you cannot catch up to it up there. Not lefty.
2 balls, 2 strikes. In the dirt, there goes Gordon. Castillo on a bounce. Got him! A one-hop dart to second base. And that'll do it for the 8th inning.
Nice job by Wellington. Bounces on it, one-hop throw. And he's got the tag on the back. Ryan Additon with the call. And it's out of the inning, onto the 9th. White Sox debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC. We've got a new pitcher coming in the ball game for the top of the 9th. It is Willie Peralta, who is the closest they have to a closer. He's 1-0, his ERA up close to 4. He's 9 out of 9 in save situations with a batting average against him just .209, so he's been pretty tough.
He gets Abreu, Palka, Narvaez, and then Delmonico if anybody reaches, and there's no double play. So Peralta, first pitch, a heater. Fastball, slider for the most part. He'll mix in a changeup every once in a while. Jose to left field. And that's down. A leadoff single for Abreu. And with a long bench, we'll see if the Sox decide to maybe send in a runner for Jose. You wouldn't imagine.
Well, this is the 3rd hit of the night. And this one, like the first one, a little looper. This one just over the head of Mondesi. First one just over the head of Merrifield, but 3 for 4 on his reintegration back into the starting lineup.
Well, we asked him before the game how long it might take for him to get back to where he was with the 7-game hit streak before he went on the shelf, and the answer was 0 days.
That's the way it worked out.
Palka takes ball 1. Daniel with a 2-run shot in the 3rd, the last runs for the Sox in this game. One and one. Where does Daniel hit it? Well, we've seen power to left, mostly to the pull side, though.
Yeah, when he hits it with authority, he's going to pull it or take it back up the middle. But he will squib the ball occasionally to the left side. It's usually pretty effective.
2 balls, 1 strike. Jose at first, and he draws a throw. Battery of left-handers coming up. Polka, Narvaez, Delmonico against Peralta. Two and two.
Both strikes have been changeups, and both of them have been very good ones. That's the change again. But Daniel's going to have to wait back.
2 and 2. He struck him out. One gone.
3 straight changes in the same at bat, the third of which did the job. Good sink on that one, and Daniel down on strikes.
Yeah, he never saw it.
No. Nope. Just good late movement and looking fastball all the way as well. He should. He just didn't get one.
1 out for Narvaez. Peralta in his career has gotten hit pretty hard by left-handed batters, so it's a good portion of the order to face him. Ball 1 to Omar.
Jenmar Gomez.
Rob Scahill was up and walking around and then decided to take a seat again up from AAA Charlotte. The most recent Sox activation onto the 40-man roster. There's a strike, 1-1.
You can look for a lot of things from Peralta, but you're not going to look for a slow hook. And that's exactly what he used to get the first strike. You can look for a straight change. You can certainly look for his fastball, which will throw a lot. But you're not going to look for the slow hook.
Omar hits it to center field. Goodwin back at the warning track to make the catch.
And Jose thought about tagging. He thought as that ball settled out there that it would be long enough for perhaps him to go to second base. When he came back to the bag, he actually stumbled a bit. I don't think he'd have made it to second base anyway, but it was a good thought, a heads-up play by Jose. But I think his foot slipped off the bag as he went back to set up and perhaps at least think about an advancement.
With that, it's left to Delmonico, who's grounded out twice and flied out once. Hickey takes a strike. Well, Kansas City in the home ninth has O'Hearn, Perez, and Bonifacio. You'd imagine O'Hearn would face Fry and then go from there. 2 strikes. O'Hearn was up when Gordon was thrown out at second base to end the 8th. But he's seen Jace Fry for at least the 5 pitches here today. No balls, 2 strikes. Outside. Abreu at first. The pitch. The Xfinity Kids Zone is accessible from all levels of guaranteed rate field. The space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and skill instruction from Chicago White Sox Training Academy coaches. Check out the latest Xfinity technology, including the X1 platform. X1 by Xfinity. It'll change the way you experience TV. And the dirt, 2-2. Daniel Palka's 22nd home run gave the Sox their 3rd run, which was good enough for the lead until Ryan O'Hearn tied the game in the 6th. And here we are deep into the night, 3-all in the 9th. He struck him out. Sox can't score after the leadoff single. Kansas City bats in 3-all after this.
Sox are going. Well, here in Kansas City, that's not a mystery. And then it's to Baltimore and Cleveland on this road trip. The penultimate road trip, if you will. Toyota going places. Toyota, let's go places.
Bill Welke wants to go other places, but here.
Any place that he can't get hit on a bounce, usually.
He's turning into the playing surface for the board game Operation right now.
One of those, or an umpire-clad pinata.
First base side. Jose for out number 1. And we'll see if that indeed is all she wrote for Jace Fry. You got the left-hander O'Hearn. You've got the righty Salvador Perez coming, and the manager as well. 1 1/3 for Jace Fry. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and Genmar Gomez was loosening. 3-all Salvador Perez, Jorge Bonifacio to face Gomez. Bottom 9 when we come back.
He's 0-1. His ERA an even 5. And he'll be facing hopefully only Perez and Bonifacio, and then on to the 10th. But first things first, 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and this game tied at 3.
Sox are down to 10 remaining pitchers. Kansas City with 8 remaining.
Yeah, I don't think either team's going to run out of pitchers. Hopefully that will not be the case.
Great starting pitching tonight, both sides. That's the point here. Giolito 7 innings, Junis 8 innings, and neither will factor into the decision. Genmar Gomez, Salvador Perez. First pitch strike. Gomez has pitched well recently with a 3.12 ERA and only allowing 3 earned runs in his last 8 games. All 3 of those against the Red Sox in late August. Sox, by the way, are 3 and 4 in extra innings as Ryan Burr and Aaron Bummer get loose together.
Both pens with double barreled action.
Wide of third, foul ball.
And the Royals pen up and going. Basto and Newberry.
No balls, 2 strikes to Salvador Perez. Who will literally swing at anything.
Pretty much. It's a whole lot of at-bats this year for Perez with only 15 walks. .445 at-bats, 15 walks.
That equates to a walk percentage of 3.2. Yolmer near the bag without number 2, and that somehow, by the way, is not the lowest walk percentage in Salvador Perez's career. He was down under 2.5% in 2015.
Well, this was a renaissance here in the walk department.
Oh, it was monastery-like patience. Two out, Bonifacio. Strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. A little bit low, 2-1. Kansas City's played 9 extra inning games. They're 3-6. Sox 3-4 in bonus baseball, if we do indeed get there. We are gently knocking on the door. Remember, Sox played extras here in Kansas City back on April the 27th. In the air, left field. Delmonico has room. 9 will not contain the Sox and Royals tonight. Off we go to bonus land.
And it is Jake Newberry on for the 7th time. Control has been an issue. 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. That's just in 7 2/3 innings. Let's see how patient the boys will be.
Another rookie Royal. Throws a strike to Castillo. Jake Newberry, who when he was drafted was taken all the way in round number 37 in 2012 out of Mira Mesa High School in talent-rich San Diego. As the story goes, he was sitting in high school all day long listening to the draft as much as he could during class, got to the end of school, went out to baseball practice, and then heard from a friend's dad that he was picked. So he's basically just sneaking to listen to the draft all day long in class, doesn't get picked, and then finds out from somebody else that his name got called. Right field, Bonifacio is underneath for round number 1. This day in baseball history. 1933, the very first All-Star game to highlight the talents of Negro League players. Then 1967, Joe Horlin, who at one point was named Joel. There was some discrepancy over his name. He was Joel for a while, then became Joe Horlin. And then Randy Johnson with his 3,000th strikeout in the year 2000. Joe Horlin on the first ever Pony Baseball Championship team. How about that?
Pretty good to win a championship regardless of where you're winning it.
Check swing, no go. Kansas City's got Goodwin, Escobar, and Merrifield coming up in the bottom of the 10th. Ball away, 2-1. Joe Horlin's no-hitter, 9 innings against the Tigers, 4 strikeouts, nothing. 12th no-hitter in White Sox history. Fastball gunned in for strike 3. 2 down.
You're hoping for Tim to get on because of that speed, but Newberry threw a fastball by him. It was low and away. Perfect spot for it.
Third base side, Escobar. That ball was lashed to third, and Engel has nothing to show for it. A haircut for Escobar.
For a couple more and then on to Baltimore for the Orioles in the rain. Then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The upcoming schedule as Genmar Gomez continues here. Trying to subdue these Royals.
Had some folks ask about the Joe Horland no-hitter. There was a hit batter and an error. That's why no hits, no walks. But he hit one, and one other Tiger reached on an error as Gomez spins over a strike to Goodwin to start the bottom of the 10th. Former Washington Nationals center fielder Brian Goodwin. One to right field on a line. Goodwin's got speed, and we'll see him use it here. It's a leadoff double for Kansas City.
Time now for the IDOT safe play, reminding you that safe driving habits really are a matter of life or death. So Goodwin dumps into right field, then runs for a two-base hit, representing the winning run. While you ponder that, visit lifeordeathillinois.com.
So you got Escobar here. Merrifield next. If you can get Escobar, you could be delicate with Merrifield and not have it hurt you so much.
I think he bunts to third base, and I think then you think about walking Merrifield.
Yeah,
but let's see if he gets it down.
Third base side, plays it third. Gomez overthrows it. Goodwin comes home, and the Royals win. Late choice by Genmar Gomez. Kansas City walks it off.
We've seen it time and time again, the inability to field your position. This time comes back to bite our Sox as Gomez airmails Yomer at third, and the winning run does indeed score.
He's caught in between. Gomez with it right in front of him decides to go to third base. And off the bunt from Escobar, Kansas City is a winner.
The bunt isn't a great one, but it appears to be good enough. And that little flip to third base, and that's the ball game. Escobar has always been a pretty decent bunter, and the Royals win the game.
Right when it came off Gomez's hand, the crowd knew it, so did the bench. Kansas City a winner in extra innings in the series opener, and we'll wrap it when we come back.